Hello everyone, and welcome to my Bold and Beautiful Gossips 24 channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Great-grandmothers unite. B&B spoilers tease Lee Finnegan and Sheila Carter rally for Luna on Monday. Sheila Carter and Lee Finnegan find common ground over Luna Nozawa's situation. These two bonding over Luna again is interesting. Sheila Carter and Lee Finnegan connecting over Luna Nozawa. These two have a complicated history, but they both have connections to Luna. With Luna in jail for murder and pregnant, Sheila and Lee are finding common ground. What does this connection mean for Luna's future? Sheila Carter and Lee Finnegan's connect over Luna, finding common ground. Sheila Carter and Lee Finnegan connect over Luna Nozawa on Tuesday, and this is unexpected. Sheila and Lee bonding? Over Luna? These are two women who have not exactly been close, but they both have connections to Luna, and with everything Luna is going through, they are finding common ground. Luna is in jail for murder. She killed multiple people. She framed others for her crimes. And now, spoilers reveal Luna is pregnant. So Sheila and Lee connecting over Luna's situation makes sense. They are probably discussing Luna's pregnancy, her future. What happens next? Sheila has her own complicated history. She has done terrible things. She has been in prison. So Sheila probably understands Luna's situation in ways that others cannot. Lee is a doctor. She is analytical and practical. She probably has concerns about Luna's pregnancy and what it means for the baby. What are Sheila and Lee discussing? What are Sheila and Lee talking about when they connect over Luna? Are they discussing Luna's pregnancy? Luna is pregnant while in jail. That complicates everything. What happens when Luna has the baby? Who will take care of the child? Are they discussing Luna's mental state? Luna killed multiple people. She clearly has issues. Are Sheila and Lee concerned about Luna's psychological well-being? Are they discussing how to help Luna? Despite everything Luna has done, maybe Sheila and Lee want to support her in some way. The Tuesday B&B spoilers suggest Sheila and Lee finding common ground over Luna is significant. This connection could lead to them working together. Luna's pregnancy changes everything. Luna's pregnancy is huge news. Luna is in jail for murder, and now she is pregnant. Whose baby is it? Is it Will Spencer's? This would complicate things for Will and Elektra Forrester. Friday's spoilers reveal Elektra and will stay strong despite Luna's pregnancy. So Will and Elektra are going to deal with this news together. But Luna's pregnancy raises so many questions. What happens when she has the baby? Will she give birth in prison? Who will take care of the child? Maybe Sheila and Lee connecting over Luna is about figuring out what to do about the baby. An unlikely alliance. Sheila and Lee forming any kind of connection is unexpected. These are not two women who would normally bond. But sometimes shared concern for someone brings unlikely people together. Sheila and Lee both care about Luna in their own ways, and that is giving them common ground. Will this connection between Sheila and Lee continue? Will they work together to help Luna navigate her pregnancy and imprisonment? B&B spoilers bottom line. Tuesday's The Bold and the Beautiful spoilers reveal Sheila and Lee connect over Luna's situation. These two finding common ground is unexpected. But with Luna pregnant and in jail, they have a lot to discuss. Luna's new idea is probably the worst she's had yet. The Bold and the Beautiful spoilers say that Luna Nozawa and her new idea is probably the worst that she's ever had. That's because she is going to ask her father, Finn, to raise her baby for her, which in turn might upset the Spencer family. The Bold and the Beautiful spoilers. Luna's new idea is probably the worst she's had yet. At this point, Luna knows that she doesn't have much of a choice, especially seeing how Bill Spencer has made it clear that she is not going to touch that baby the moment she gives birth. Of course, the Bold and the Beautiful fans had a lot to say about the matter on social media. Some even commented with, "What Luna thinks about who should raise her baby carries weight, but Will as the father also has to say so, and he is not incarcerated. As I've posted previously, if Will wants custody, it's pretty much a slam dunk, but if Finn, Bill and Katie come into, the choice is not clear." The Bold and the Beautiful spoilers. What's next for Luna? Anyway, would Steffy want to be responsible for Luna's child? I don't think so, because if and when Luna gets out of jail, Steffy's family becomes even more of a target. Another critic wrote, Will said initially he didn't want the baby. That leaves the grandparents. Katie and Bill seem kind of old, although older grandparents have raised kids. Finn and Steffy have young kids and are more than capable. Taking on Luna's baby isn't Steffy's birth control, and he's never mentioned wanting another baby with her. And then there was this comment as well. Finn has been feeling some guilt over the way Luna turned out with him not being there. And Bill's judgment has been all over the place. But of course Steffy will take a lot of convincing for anything like that. Now, as far as what's going to happen next remains to be seen. BMB fans will simply have to tune in each and every day to find out what will happen. The Bold and the Beautiful, a storyline twist few fans ever saw coming, is about to unfold when two of the show's fiercest and most complex women, Dr. Lee Finnegan and Sheila Carter, find themselves united for the first time in years over one deeply troubling, emotionally charged issue: Luna Nozawa's fate. In a move that shocks even their closest family members, Lee and Sheila, two women who have clashed violently and verbally over the years, sit down together to talk about Luna's unraveling life, her incarceration for multiple murders, and her unexpected pregnancy that's sending shockwaves through Los Angeles and the Spencer Forrester Finnegan circle. The Monday episode teases an unprecedented emotional storm as these two grandmothers, yes, great-grandmothers in the making, find themselves bonded not by love or forgiveness but by shared pain, regret, and the haunting awareness that a baby may be born into chaos if they don't act now. The episode dives into uncharted emotional territory, offering both women a rare glimpse into each other's humanity as they reflect on their respective failures as mothers, their shared guilt as matriarchs of broken families, and their fear that history is repeating itself, this time through Luna. Sheila Carter, long the black sheep of Los Angeles and arguably one of soap opera's most infamous villains, enters this meeting with the weary knowledge of someone who has spent a lifetime being judged, imprisoned, and misunderstood. Her violent past, marked by betrayals, shootings, and psychological manipulation, mirrors the kind of moral collapse that now defines Luna's young life. Sheila, having clawed her way back from presumed death more times than anyone can count, sees something in Luna that few others can. A mirror of her younger self, broken, misunderstood, and spiraling because of love gone wrong. Luna's life behind bars, her unstable emotions, and the shocking revelation that she's pregnant while incarcerated all stir something deep within Sheila. Perhaps a maternal instinct she's long buried, or maybe a desperate attempt to prove that she can still nurture instead of destroy. Her visits to the prison are unannounced, her tone surprisingly soft as she talks to Luna through the glass partition, urging her to stay strong for the baby. For once, Sheila isn't scheming for her own gain. She's trying to prevent another generation from being consumed by the same cycle of betrayal and violence that has haunted her since the early days of The Young and the Restless and The Bold and the Beautiful. Across town, Lee Finnegan, ever the stoic, calculating surgeon, is privately falling apart. For years she has seen the world in black and white: good people deserve redemption, bad people deserve consequences. But Luna's descent into darkness, her crimes, and her pregnancy have shattered that certainty. As a doctor, Lee understands the fragile balance between life and death, body and mind. As an aunt, she knows that Luna's choices have caused irreversible harm, and as a woman, she can't help but feel the crushing empathy of knowing that her niece, once so full of promise, is now shackled, both literally and figuratively, by the consequences of her actions. Lee spends sleepless nights at University Hospital reviewing Luna's medical records, checking prenatal reports, and sending quiet inquiries about Luna's psychological evaluations. Though she won't admit it publicly, Lee worries that Luna's unborn child may face the same stigma that once surrounded Finn, being born under the shadow of scandal, to a mother branded unfit. And as much as Lee has condemned Sheila for her past, she knows that Sheila's insight into the mind of a woman who's lost everything could be the key to helping Luna survive. Not as a prisoner, but as a person. Their meeting begins tense, almost combative. The air in Il Giardino's private backroom, ironically the same restaurant where Sheila once faked her own death, crackles with hostility when Sheila slides into the booth across from Lee. Lee's arms are folded, her eyes cold as she hisses, "What could you possibly know about helping anyone?" But Sheila, wearing that unervingly serene smile she's perfected over decades of deceit, replies softly, "I know what it's like to be everyone's villain, and still want to save someone." There's silence. Then slowly something shifts. The two women, once enemies bound by blood through Finn, begin to talk, Not as rivals, but as mothers and grandmothers terrified for the same young woman. They discuss Luna's mental health, her trauma, her pregnancy, and the child who will soon enter this world with no clear guardian. They debate whether Luna's baby should be placed with the Spencers, given Will's bloodline, or whether Finn should raise the child, as Luna reportedly suggested in her latest prison meeting. Lee's logic is clinical. The baby deserves stability, and that's not something Luna can provide from a cell. But Sheila's argument is emotional. She needs to know someone's fighting for her, or she'll never come back from this. As the conversation deepens, both women begin revealing parts of themselves they've never shared. Sheila recalls giving birth alone, rejected by the very people she loved, haunted by her mistakes. Lee confesses the guilt she still carries over faking Finn's death, and shutting Sheila out of their lives entirely. Maybe, Sheila says in a whisper, if you and I weren't so focused on punishing each other, we could have saved Luna before it got this far. For the first time, Lee doesn't immediately refute her. The weight of the truth lingers. They both failed Luna. Not through direct action but through neglect, silence, and pride. Now Luna is paying the price. Meanwhile, behind prison walls, Luna's pregnancy is no longer a secret. The guards whisper about her. Inmates stare with a mix of pity and resentment. Some believe Luna's faking it to gain sympathy or an early release, but others know better. Her condition is real and it's complicated. Luna's health is fragile. Her mental state oscillates between defiance and despair. She refuses visits from Poppy, who she blames for never protecting her from Lee's judgment, but accepts Sheila's visits quietly, sometimes crying afterward. Luna's letters to Finn are filled with contradictions, one page begging him to raise her baby, and the next demanding that he stay away for his own good. Lee reads those letters in silence, her medical detachment slipping as she realizes Luna isn't just a criminal. She's her family, her responsibility, and perhaps her redemption. By the second half of Monday's episode, viewers witness a stunning visual: Sheila Carter and Lee Finnegan walking side by side through the prison gates. For the first time, they've agreed on something. Luna cannot give birth alone. Together, they request special medical clearance to ensure that both mother and baby are properly monitored. The warden, shocked by their united front, remarks, "Never thought I'd see you two agreeing on anything." Lee replies sharply, "Don't get used to it." But beneath her clipped tone, there's a glimmer of uneasy respect. Sheila even thanks her. A quiet, genuine "Thank you, Lee." And though Lee doesn't respond, she doesn't pull away either. For soap fans, it's one of those rare moments when years of hatred give way to something resembling grace. The ripple effects of their alliance spread fast. When word reaches Finn, he's stunned but hopeful, telling Steffy, "If my mother and Lee can work together, maybe there's hope for Luna too." Steffy, ever cautious, remains skeptical, warning him not to get too emotionally involved in Luna's baby's future, especially since Will Spencer may have legal rights as the biological father. But Finn can't help but feel drawn back into the tangled web of his extended family, his medical instincts clashing with his moral ones. He remembers Luna's breakdowns, her cries for help, her misplaced love, and wonders if there's still something worth saving. Meanwhile, Bill Spencer's reaction is explosive. When he learns Sheila and Lee are rallying for Luna's welfare, he erupts. "You can't possibly believe that psycho deserves sympathy. She murdered people, and now she's manipulating you both." But Katie, ever the peacemaker, quietly reminds Bill that every child deserves a chance. "Even Luna's," she says softly. As Lee and Sheila continue meeting, they begin working behind the scenes to petition for Luna's medical transfer to a more suitable facility, one where her pregnancy can be managed safely. Their collaboration is pragmatic at first, but soon it becomes something more. A shared mission to ensure that Luna's unborn child doesn't inherit the curse of chaos that has defined both of their bloodlines. Lee, ever the perfectionist, handles the paperwork, while Sheila leverages her old prison connections to get Luna better treatment. Through whispered conversations and tense encounters, their alliance becomes the most unexpected plot twist in BNB history. A fragile truce between two matriarchs once defined by mutual hatred, now united by maternal desperation. In a particularly powerful scene, Sheila visits Luna in the infirmary, holding her hand as Luna weeps. "I don't deserve to be a mother." Sheila, choking back tears, answers, "Neither did I at first. But every day you fight for that baby, and you'll find the strength to be one." Watching from the observation window, Lee finally sees something she never thought possible. Sheila Carter acting out of genuine compassion. For the first time, she doesn't see a monster. She sees a woman who understands pain as deeply as anyone ever could. Later, Lee admits to Finn, Sheila may not be redeemable, but maybe she's capable of doing one good thing before it's too late. By the end of the week, the two women are no longer adversaries but uneasy allies, preparing to fight a new battle together, convincing the courts to grant Luna temporary supervised release for childbirth. The paperwork is grueling, the politics complicated, and the emotional toll immense, but their determination is unwavering. They visit the judge together, present their case together, and even share an unspoken moment of solidarity when Luna's name is mentioned. The world may see them as opposites, light and dark, science and sin, but in that courtroom, they are simply two mothers trying to save a lost child. The fallout promises to be enormous. Steffy and Hope find themselves on opposite sides again, with Hope sympathizing with Luna's plight and Steffy fearing for her family's safety. Bill and Katie's relationship faces new strain as Katie questions whether Bill's anger toward Luna is really about Luna, or about his own guilt over how he treated her in the past. Even Ridge and Taylor weigh in, reflecting on how many times they've seen family tear itself apart over one troubled soul. Through it all, Sheila and Lee remain the unlikeliest of allies. Two women standing at the intersection of past sins and future hope. As Monday's episode closes, Sheila and Lee sit together outside the hospital nursery, watching through the glass as nurses tend to newborns. Sheila murmurs, "They all deserve a chance, don't they?" Lee, after a long pause, replies, "Even the ones born from darkness." The camera lingers on their faces, two battle-scarred women united by fear, love and redemption, as the screen fades to black and the credits roll. The preview for Tuesday teases even more upheaval, promising that an alliance born from guilt may spark a war for the soul of a family. This shocking turn cements the bold and the beautiful's reputation for redefining what daytime drama can be. Not just scandal and seduction, but generational reckoning. Sheila Carter and Lee Finnegan finding common ground over Luna Nozawa is more than just a plot twist. It's a meditation on legacy, forgiveness, and the fragile hope that even the most broken family can heal. Whether this truce holds or implodes spectacularly remains to be seen, but one thing is certain. The women who once fought over Finn are now fighting for Luna, and in doing so they may just save themselves. Their alliance, though fragile and uneasy, doesn't remain secret for long. By midweek, Los Angeles is buzzing. Word spreads fast through the hospital corridors and the Forrester mansion that Lee Finnegan and Sheila Carter were seen together. Not arguing, not threatening, but talking quietly over medical files. Rich Forrester is the first to hear it from a nurse, and his reaction is pure disbelief. Lee and Sheila? Working together? That's like fire and gasoline claiming they're here to build a bridge. Steffy, when she hears, is furious, her pulse pounding as she storms into Finn's office demanding answers. "Please tell me this is some sort of cruel rumor," she snaps, her tone sharp enough to slice through the tension that's been building ever since Luna's pregnancy was revealed. But Finn can't deny it. He looks at Steffy with quiet resignation. "It's true," he says. "They're both trying to help Luna." Steffy's disbelief turns to panic. "Help her? Finn, she's a murderer. She destroyed lives, she tore apart families, she nearly killed you." Her voice cracks on that last word, the memory of blood and chaos flickering in her eyes. But Finn, ever the healer, refuses to see Luna purely through the lens of her crimes. "She's still my daughter, Steffy," he replies softly, "and now she's about to bring a new life into this world. I can't just turn my back on her." Meanwhile, Lee and Sheila's uneasy collaboration begins to evolve into something dangerously effective. Lee handles the legal filings and medical reports with her usual precision, while Sheila leverages her charisma, charm, and uncanny ability to read people to influence the warden and the prison psychiatrist. "You'd be surprised what a smile and a little empathy can do," Sheila muses during one of their strategy sessions at Il Giardino. Lee rolls her eyes but secretly knows Sheila's right. The system doesn't just respect authority. It responds to manipulation, and Sheila is a master manipulator when she wants to be. But this time the manipulation isn't self-serving. It's focused entirely on Luna's welfare. That's what confuses Lee most. "Why do you care so much?" she demands one night after their latest prison meeting. Sheila's response is chillingly simple. Because I know what happens to women like her when no one cares. Inside the prison infirmary, Luna's pregnancy begins to take its toll. The stress of incarceration, limited nutrition, and constant anxiety cause fainting spells and complications that alarm the medical staff. Luna tries to hide her weakness, but Sheila notices immediately during one visit. "You're pale, sweetheart," Sheila whispers through the glass partition. "You've got to tell them if you're feeling sick." Luna shakes her head, defiant as ever. "They don't care about me." Nobody does. But when Sheila relays Luna's symptoms to Lee, the doctor's clinical instincts kick in instantly. Within 24 hours, Lee's arranging emergency prenatal scans and pressuring the warden to improve Luna's diet and living conditions. "If anything happens to that baby," Lee warns coldly, "you'll be facing a lawsuit and a media storm this facility won't survive." The warden caves and Luna's conditions improve. For the first time in months, Luna begins to feel, if not hope, then at least relief. That's when Finn steps back into the story in a major way. Torn between his loyalty to Steffy and his responsibility as a father, he begins making quiet visits to the prison under the guise of medical evaluations. The first time Luna sees him, she bursts into tears, collapsing into his arms as the guards look on awkwardly. "I'm sorry," she sobs. "I'm sorry for everything. I didn't mean for it to go this far." Finn holds her gently but firmly, his eyes full of sorrow. "You can't change the past," he says, "but you can make sure your child has a future." That line becomes the emotional cornerstone of the week, replayed in the episode's final montage as Sheila and Lee both look on from opposite sides of the visiting area. Two women silently united in the hope that Finn can reach the broken girl they both failed to save. As news of Luna's pregnancy spreads, the moral debate consumes Los Angeles. Talk show hosts and gossip sites are ablaze with questions. Should Luna be allowed to keep her baby? Should a convicted murderer have parental rights? Is rehabilitation possible for someone who's taken multiple lives? Forrester Creations becomes a hotbed of whispered opinions. Brooke Logan, never shy about voicing her feelings, declares during a board meeting, "No child should be born behind bars. If Lee and Sheila are actually doing something good for once, maybe we should support it." Rich disagrees, warning that getting involved could destroy the company's reputation. Hope Logan, ever compassionate, quietly visits Katie Spencer to discuss ways to help Luna's unborn child, while Thomas, recalling his own dark past, mutters that everyone deserves a second chance.